G'day mate. You might be wondering what Chomp's got to do with this little GMC 25cc top handled saw. So we'll dig into it and I'll show you. Now with the GMC, when I ported it, the pulse line is there's all different versions of these saws, but the pulse line is very close to the very base of the cylinder, so I couldn't really go down past where I wanted to go to get the right timing, because the pulse line was in the road, so I chomped out the piston. So I did the same thing on Chomp. So I'll turn my torch on so you guys can see. So Chomp's got this. Chomp's got a bit of a notch out of the piston, and it didn't perform the way I thought it would. The case pressure wasn't enough the way I thought. So I've got a new piston for it now. I'll show you that in a minute. But the same thing went for this GMC. I was thinking about it the other night. I got parts and stuff everywhere, so I pulled it all apart again and replaced the piston. I pulled the piston out that had the Chomp set up like that, because they gave me the numbers but didn't give you the case compression. Now if you want to port saws, practice on little saws first. If you get power of these guys, you get power of the big guys. Easy as all hell. So what I'm done now is, if you ever watch a pump and watch air go in and out, not pump, water go in and out of pump, you'll find that water will come out the hole and it'll balloon out like a bubble. It'll blossom out like a balloon, and that's no problem at all. When it comes to sucking, it's a different story. Sucking causes eddies and flow effects the way it sucks. So you'll get more power out of the saw if you can do the intake more than the exhaust. The exhaust does help, but pressure always finds that way out. That's why I see it. So I've upped the blow down on this thing just a bit. So it's all in polished up. It's a blind job. I think you can see it there. A blind job, so I just added probably a degree for that, because it needed a bit more revs. There you go. So I just upped it a tiny bit. So well, I'm done with the intake though. So I'll put the piston back in where it was, and you'll see, because they've got the Chomp part out of the piston. Try and do this on camera. You'll see the original timing. So originally that bottom part of the piston would open up the same as the other side. So that would normally be, get closer. That would normally be 80 degrees, just there. That'd be 80 degrees. But that was on using these pistons on the degree wheel. I don't think it was enough. With the new piston, it should be 80 or 81 degrees. Oh, I know it'll be 80. I know that for sure. It could be even 82, which won't be a problem. But I thought I'd show it to you guys. That'll give me more case compression, because the skirt's missing. Also takes the wobble out of the piston as well. But I like to trial and error. If it doesn't work, this is my mate's saw. He got this one for it didn't run. So this is a big bore kit. Now the other part of this, I've ramped up the inside of the intake, so as the air goes into the intake there, I forced it more further down. So if you look when the air comes through like that, it hits the ramp and forces it down. There's a channel. A little bit severe weather patterns come through. Apparently, I've warning on my phone. The air goes through on channel that side and that side. So if I turn that piston around, you'll see it. That's the exhaust side. Need 4 or 5 amps, need an alien. That opens up a straight line. It opens up the straight lines like that. And then it opens up a secondary, so it goes wider, so there. So it's open a bit. Now I'm hoping what this will cause to have a more of a instantaneous rev. I hope, I don't know, but if I don't try I'll never know. So it's nice and wide at the base. It might do anything, but it hopefully will work. And it worked on the small saw, so I can't see why it couldn't work on the big saw. So I haven't affected the way the wings work on the pistons. Everything's still supported, so you can see that way the chomp part there. See, it's missing parts to either side. Instead of having a normal smooth arch or a straight line I normally used to do, I've done the solo idea, or the other guys called langing or gravity or whatever. But I'm hoping this will change the way the saw performs. I opened up the transfers massive big time. I've actually gone back in and reformed. Which one was it? This one here. It's so much to check when you port. I forgot to do this side here, and this was strapping down vertically. So now I've got that back to where it should be. So it should perform a lot better and be a saw that can do 42-inch bar. So this is what this saw is designed for. Fairly high revs, but also to be controllable. That's the wash pattern on the piston that came out. Nice and clean the way done. The way, because I poured down the upper transfers, I got rid of the flashings. It's all been cleaned up. It looks nice, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, that's the thing. I'll pause it and I'll put this on the cylinder and see on the saw and see what the degree wheel says I've actually got for intake timing. Okay, I'll try and film this piston. So the window, that's the exhaust side, is bigger than the window on the intake side. To do the transfers, focus. It's still taking a bit out of the edge of the top. It's still structurally good. It's no problem at all with that. But I've opened them up quite a bit. I can't show you. I've gone to the very base of the piston too, so that should, well, now it will work really good. And I've deburred it and cleaned it all up and all that. Hang on guys, I'll put it back in the pod. Okay, I just zeroed my degree wheel. So this will be a two-stage intake, so I have to work out what stage they are. When it first opens and the second opens. That's when it starts to open, so we're on 80. Yeah, 81. I got 81. Yep, they're on 81. Second stage opens up. Both sides. $75. Yeah, $75. One side. Right, so 75 and 80. Yeah. Right, we'll go 75 and 80. Might have to take a little bit off that corner there. One side 75, the other side 76. 75 and 74. Oh no, it's not. 74, so we go 81 degrees opening and then it goes to 74. So I'll show you guys what I mean. Hopefully. I'll put the torch away for. Hang on guys, I'll get the tripod. Now I'll try and film this best I can. Then that extra light's any good. One light's good. Might do one light. So you see this is cylinder piston going up, going down, so you see how it's really wide open and it closes off. So while I'm doing this too, it also controls spitback or blowback. So now we'll go back up. It'll open up at 81 degrees. That's 81 there. And then we'll get to 74, 75. The secondaries open up, so crack. So I'm hoping this will make a big difference. It worked on a little saw, so it should work on the big saw and work better, so hopefully that will. Now my question is for you guys, have any of you guys TIG welded a piston? With that little GMC saw, if I had had an aluminium TIG weld, I would love to have TIGged the top of the piston and turned it into a pop-up piston to make more pressure, because you can't get performance parts for tiny little saws like that. And that's all we need really was compression to make the motor sing a lot better. Anyway, now my job is to put this thing back together and go chopping some timber. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Oh, one last thing, my thoughts on things, and you know, I'm always thinking of crap, but they keep saying to us, our carbon footprint, how much carbon we pumping out. Well, I want to change that to how much oxygen, our oxygen footprint. People like Bill Gates, millionaires, Klaus Schwarz, that German guys, I want to put out that if they're running around jet planes chewing through not a few litres of oxygen, they're going through tons of oxygen. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like to breathe, and I'd cut trees down if I have to, but they talk about carbon offsetting and all that crap. They're rich, and they should be taxed on oxygen usage. Bill Gates, he owns a jet luxury jet plane company apparently, and I can't see why he's not being taxed heavily, because okay, if you can afford it, fine, but the average Joe Blow, you got a V8 that make you feel guilty, you got a house that's not insulated properly, that make you feel guilty. They tax you, it charges heaps for electricity and stuff like that, and gas, fuel and everything else. But if you look at a jet plane going from one side of the world to the other side, it uses tons and tons of air. We have to pay for that for our airline tickets. But these guys traveling the world trying to tell us how to live our life, how to do what we do, and then turn around and say, you will do this, the Great Reset and stuff like that. And we have no real way to control what they're doing. Like seriously, they're using so much oxygen, so much stuff, and saying we're doing something wrong. That's wrong. They should be taxed, and taxed enough so it helps out the poor people of the world that can't eat, or people need housing and stuff. And they talk about epidemics, and like just recently, apparently Bill Gates just sold all his shares in the vaccine market, where they're saying it's so good and all that, but now he's out of that too. So I just really think oxygen footprint. Like, I know I live within my means, what can I afford and all that. I might splurge out occasionally, but I can't go out there and spend a fortune on whatever. If you get sorry about that, guys. What I'm trying to say is the minority rules the majority. So all these weird people saying we should have this, we should have that. To me, if you're a bloke, you're a bloke. If you're a girl, you're a girl. I come from a farming background, only a hobby farm, but a bull's a bull, a cow's a cow. Guys are meant to give it and girls are meant to take it. That's just pretty well simple. But these people who say we got to do this and do that, I'm sick of being pushed around, guys. It's just stupid. We should be able to stand up somehow and say, look, if you're a firebug that likes to burn things like tyres and stuff like that, and you cause problems with the whatever, years ago you'd be thrown in a mental institution because you have something wrong with you, and they should be locked up. Morrisett Mental Home, sorry guys, I'm going too much, but Morrisett Mental Home, I used to have things like that. If you had a problem, it wouldn't be to jail, it'd be to institution because you had head problems. But nowadays it seems like if you're weird, that's acceptable. It's not, and it's causing problems to kids in their heads. Kids, it's hard enough for kids now. They think they're fat or not pretty enough and all the rest of it, not muscly enough. But seriously, we all have to live, we all have to do a thing, but these pricks out there, they're saying the next great reset, the next whatever, next pandemic, they're going to cause World War III, and it's going to screw us all over. So one of my rants at the moment. Anyway, hopefully we'll go test Chomp out in the timber. But sorry guys, I shouldn't rant into and carry on, but it worries me. Alright, over now.